بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself to my students. My name is Ghassan Muhammad Naifi, a doctor of English language, and I am really happy to deal with my new students here in King Faisal University with a specialization of special education. So this meeting or this lecture is intended for students who study between brackets what is called special education. The course is called English language, and the course code or the course number is English 101. So it is for special education. And this lecture is between brackets orientation lecture, which means that I'm going to introduce the material, talking about the course description and the objectives of the course, the content of the course, and finally I'll try to talk about the evaluation system in this semester. First of all, most students here sometimes complain about the difficulty of English language, or why do we learn English? To answer this question, we all know that English is considered as what is called international language. And in many countries, from the west to the east, from north to the south, we know that people from different nationalities, from different countries, they can communicate through one language, which is called English language. So it is a global language. This is the first reason. The second reason for why people learn English, because we all know that English is the language of science. English is the language of economics. English is the language of commerce. English is the language of electronics. Okay, so this is the second reason for the people to learn English. For university students, we all know that they need English in their higher education. So it is very important for the students to learn English language to help them complete their higher education. Yeah. So this is a brief summary of why people learn English. The elements of this lecture, as we said before, that it is what is called orientation lecture. This means that to give you a general information about this course. The first one is what is called course description. So as we said in the beginning, that it is English language course for special education students, and its number is 101. The most important thing for the students is to know the name of the textbook. And really here I'd like to show you, in order not to buy or to get another resource or another textbook. So this is the book, and I said in the description that it has what is called a red cover from the front and from the back. So the name of the book is Basic English Grammar. So this is the main textbook, the main reference for the students of English 101. Let's move to the course objective. Course objectives. Why do people, or what is the objectives of this course? The first objective is that after taking this course, the students will be able to form, let's say, simple sentences in English language, and mainly to focus on grammar, basic grammar. So if we have a look at the contents of the book, we will see here in chapter 1, we will see what is called the verbs to be, like is, am, are, was, were. And we move to pronouns of English. Pronouns, you know, pronouns, I, you, he, she, and others. And then how to write the negative form of a sentence with verb to be. So when we say he is, this is what is called affirmative form. So when we write a negative form, we say he is not. So here, not is the negative form of verb to be. Then in the chapter 3 and 4, the students will take what is called verb tenses. So they know how to deal with the past and the present and the future tenses of the verbs. Then we will take prepositions. We'll take a preposition like in, on, at, and so on. And this is written here, the letter F, prepositions. And here we mainly focus in a preposition which deal with time and place. With time and place, yeah. Then we move to countable and uncountable nouns. So in every language we have what is called countable and uncountable. Like water is uncountable, while when we say book is countable, because we have book and books, with what it's plural and singular. The letter H here, if you see on the board, we have spelling and pronunciation of the last or the end es and final ed. Yeah. So here we will deal with this maybe in chapter 5 or 6. And then we move to irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. So irregular verbs, I think you have taken them before at school or everywhere here if you are interested in English. So I think you go back and see that irregular verbs are very important for the student to know. Like go, the past of go is went, go and went. So here we call them, these verbs, we call them irregular verbs. Then we have in chapter 7 or 8, we have expressions of frequency. So some words are used before noun to show us the quantity or the quality of these nouns. When we say some and few, many, so these are called expressions of frequency. Expressions of frequency here tell us how many times the action happens. How many times the action happens. When we say I go to university 5 times a week, so 5 times a week is underlined here, is expressions of frequency. When I say usually, sometimes, from time to time, so these expressions are called expressions of frequency. This will take this later in chapter 7 or 8. Then we will deal with articles. You know, articles are very important, and we will deal with a special use of article, which is called singular article. When we say a and an, when to use a, when to use an. After that, we have in chapter 9 maybe what is called comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. When you say tall, taller, tallest, so this form in structure or in grammar is called adjective, comparative, and then superlative. Then we have another type of grammar which is called when we show the quantity of something, we have many and few, much and little. So these expressions used before nouns to show the quantity of these nouns. When we say many students, few students, so we will see the situations when to use these words or expressions. And during the course, we will try to train our students how to deal with reading text, different reading text. Mainly how to scan to look for specific information, and how to skim the text to look for the gist or general information through reading or through analyzing the reading passage. So this is about the content of the course. So mainly it focuses on grammar, basic grammar or structure. So about the students' performance evaluation, how to evaluate our students. We know that we don't have face-to-face lecture, so the mark is distributed as follow, as shown here on the board. We have the total mark is out of 100. 30% of the mark is for students' participation and the student interaction and activities through the website. How many times they enter or they go to forum, how many times they interact with their friends and so on. Yeah, so we have 30% of the total mark for the activity, the participation, and the interaction. And we have the final test. So final test will be 70 marks, 70 grades. So 70% of the total mark is for the final test. And by the way, the final test will be around 100 multiple choice question with different form. So you are going to sit for the final test, but it is not the same form. Maybe form A, B, C, D, and so on. About the date and the time of the final test, I think the final test will be announced later. We will inform our student the exact time of and the date of the final test. So again, just to remind my students about the main textbook and the references. We have here, as I said here before in the beginning, that we have the basic English grammar again, and I'll show you this book. Yes, be careful not to buy another book, because we have some similar books with similar topic or title. Yeah, and the other recommended reference is called Interactions Axis. This is the book. So this book is mainly intended for the student who will take one-to-one, but students of 101 can get benefit from this textbook, because this textbook is full of sample reading passages. So it's very useful for the student. Yeah. Just one important thing to tell my students, that don't think that if these references are unavailable, so I advise my student to focus mainly on registered lectures. In the explanations I will give you later, and I promise everyone that you will be given extra questions, extra exercises, and some models tests that help you to deal with this course. Finally, for contact or for communicate with each other, so you will see here on the last page that this is my email, and this is my office location, or the building number where my college, which is e-learning Deanship building, which is inside King Faisal University, and the number of the building is 50. And about my office telephone, you can see it in the screen here, here. And the mobile, I'll give you, inshallah, my mobile later. So thank you very much for this first meeting, and I'll hope that I wish all of you to succeed or to pass and to cover this course with success. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.